The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? People deal with death in several ways. If you have lots of money, are tech-inclined and a bit creepy, you can handle it the way they do in The Shrouds, as Amber and Scott discuss. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
That was fucking weird.
That was a terrible movie with such a great premise, but terribly executed.
Well, yeah. I mean, it might have been a better movie if they had finished it.
Yeah.
Like, it really looked like they were like, we're out of money. Can't shoot anymore. Guess we're done.
I would agree. Hello, folks. This episode, we are talking about The Shrouds. A techno entrepreneur named Karsh has developed a new software that will allow the bereaved to bear witness to the gradual decay of loved ones' deaths and when they're dead and they're buried underneath the earth. There's more to this description, but quite frankly, it is not worth your time or mine to read the description. The Shrouds was a 2-hour movie that basically ended like they still had another 45 minutes worth of film to go.
Yeah, sometimes a movie might leave a loose end or two. I don't think this one tied up any of them.
Yeah, and the premise was really interesting. So, in a nutshell, Karsh develops this technology in these special kind of cemeteries where when someone dies, they go into the earth and they're put in this shroud. And the shroud has technology that allows you to, above ground, when you visit your loved one, you can use an app and you can tap into this monitor and you can see the decaying of your loved one in real time of what they look like underneath the earth. So, over time we see the skeletons of people because the flesh has rotted away over time. And he is in the process of setting up these grave sites across the world and using these shrouds because he himself had a hard time letting go of his wife when she slowly passed from cancer. So it was an interesting premise, but the execution of it was not good. It left a million strings hanging. There were so many nipples in this movie.
So many nipples. So many nipples.
And a wide variety of nipples. So if there was a casting director for nipples, definitely a wide array.
Yeah, we should have seen who was the nipple
represented.
casting director.
Yeah, definitely a good variety there. So that said, I think that what would you do? That's the obvious one is if you had a loved one who passed away, would you want to see them even after they were gone and in the ground and have a connection to their decaying body? I think this is going to be a short episode.
Fuck no.
Yeah, no.
Maybe for the first month or two, possibly. Just like
bodies decay quickly.
Well,
though.
I don't know how quickly. Yeah, up to the when they become just pure on frickin' just boned corpse.
But rotting flesh is not something you're gonna want to look at, and worms going through the eye sockets. And
well, does that happen if you're in a coffin?
They weren't in the coffin; they were just in these shrouds. So I guess a worm couldn't penetrate the shroud. Now that I'm talking about it, I guess it wasn't normal decay. But for example, when you bury someone the traditional way and they preserve the body for a viewing, that the chemicals that they pour into a deceased body to preserve them,
formaldehyde.
It's toxic. It is so terrible for the environment. And then the bodies are buried and all of those chemicals leach into the environment and the soil and the ground table or the water table, and it's bad. I mean, there are such a thing as green cemeteries where they don't use chemicals to preserve anyone just because the chemicals are just so toxic to the environment. That said, I don't know what good comes from hanging on to a connection that is decaying. Like, Oh gosh, this is complicated in the fact that I know some people have a really hard time saying goodbye to someone once they're passed, and I get that. But I don't see of just looking at their literal skeleton where all the muscle has passed and all the flesh is gone, and just looking at the skeleton and the skull and the bones of a loved one is going to bring you any comfort.
Yeah, I agree. It's 2025. There's AI. Like, honestly, if you really want to quote unquote preserve someone, like, you can do a whole program thing with AI where
You look at a restored, healthy version of them.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and I mean, I have my opinions on this, and they can vary wildly from other people's. I like the idea of preserving my loved ones at least as much as possible through like an AI, like teaching an AI how they think and knowing how they'll react to things and exactly what they look like when they're healthy. And you could get to the point where you could video call your loved one.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, it's not, but it was preserving as much of their essence as we can with today's technology. And like, I feel like that would be a tremendous way to help get over grief, especially if you ran up against a situation where you're like, I didn't get a chance to tell them such and such before they died. Well, you still can't, but this is the next best thing until we get San Junipero.
I suppose there's different layers here. Like, I don't think an AI version of someone, I don't think that helps you with grieving. I think that helps you to hang on. And I'm not saying that that's bad at all. However, the fact of you going to a special cemetery to get out your app and activate a monitor that, hey, here's how the skeleton, here's how the corpse looks today, that feels very unhealthy to me.
Yes. If there was like, I like the idea if they could have like a video tribute type thing. Like, that's not a tribute, but like, I don't know, like videos of when they were alive or something like that. Like, I kind of thought that it might be something like that.
Like a trailer before you see the skeleton.
Well, yeah, but only you don't fucking see the skeleton.
Well, I don't know if I'd want to leave the house for a movie trailer of someone's life. I'd probably want to watch that from my own sofa.
Well, yes, but I mean, if you're going and visiting the grave,
yeah,
it might be nice while you're there to...
Oh, maybe the computer automatically compiles new life trailers every time you go. Like, oh, we're putting together this assortment of pictures and movies and music.
Yeah. I mean, probably a better use of the technology.
Yeah, and there were other things that happened in this film, but quite frankly, I'm not even inclined to indulge them because it was just a bunch of nonsense.
It was so weird, and there was Russians.
It was pointless.
There were Russians and Chinese people,
and was any of that even real?
We don't
even know.
Some people were crazy. We don't know.
We don't know what was real and what was fake. It was so bad.
What was up with the chick's collar? And
why she?
And they'd be like,
he
needs my left tit.
Okay, well, I understood that because his wife had cancer and he was having dreams about how she had lost parts of her body. I understand that, but yeah, she had this kind of S&M looking collar around her neck, black, thick, metal-looking collar with like a blue glowy thing on it.
Yeah, it was like a home automation S&M type thing.
Yeah, it looked like if Alexa started getting into BDSM.
I don't even know where to go with that one.
Yeah, so there were other things that happened in this film, but womp womp, whatever. If you saw this film and you're listening to us ruin it for it, we didn't ruin it for you. The actual film ruined it for you, and I'm sorry you had to waste your 2 hours like we had to waste our 2 hours.
Yeah, no. That said, Honey.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yes, Honey is. I can't believe we almost skipped over that because I know this is your jam.
Yeah, there's no way I wasn't skipping over Honey.
Honey is our main character, Karch's AI avatar, who pops in and helps him take care of tasks and set up appointments and remind him of stuff.
And mind you, doesn't pop in when you say, "Hey, honey." It pops in whenever the hell it wants.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, we even saw Honey's nips. There's so many nips in this film, and she was like
Well,
a
it
cartoon
wasn't supposed to be
character.
Honey's nips. It was supposed to be his dead wife's nips.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, dip, actually.
Yeah, because she had
Singular.
lost a breast. Okay, I'm not making a joke here. We're not going there. Yeah, and also too another. Yes, that's pretend vomiting of this film was obviously, I didn't look in the credits, but promotional consideration had to have been considered by Tesla.
Tesla, yeah.
Oh, F that, because we see him driving his Tesla all along, which just seems like, okay, Tesla provided a car. But then we have a driving scene. So the guy automatically says, like, take me to so-and-so, and then the car auto drives here and take me to so-and-so.
I actually was going to rail on that
And-
because I have a Tesla, and those motherfuckers.
Unfortunately, he got it before.
Yeah, I
He
got it before Elon went crazy. Yeah, if you're in a parking garage and you tell it to navigate, it ain't getting you out of the parking garage.
And then while he's driving, we
At
see
least it ain't getting me out of the parking garage.
the steering wheel that says Tesla, and so we see him looking out the window with the steering wheel that says Tesla on it for an uncomfortable length of time, which was obviously purchased. So that was yucky too. I just huge thumbs down. And I don't know if you want to.
At least hopefully it was money not well spent.
Yeah, hopefully. It's just if you have such a connection with a loved one that you want to see their body decay, I don't want to be judgmental here, but I think there might be something more that maybe needs to be explored.
Hang on, I still want to unpack this. I don't remember the characters' names, and honestly, I don't care.
Yeah.
But so the dog groomer,
Yeah.
was that the dead wife's sister?
Yes.
Okay, so I at first thought that was his sister.
No.
Maybe I was okay because
You weren't paying attention.
yeah, but the dead wife said, "Don't bang my sister,"
Yeah, and then he banged.
and then he
his-
banged her sister.
Yeah.
And then
unless
are
we
you
saw her
banging my
nipples.
sister? Are you banging? No, I'm not. Well, yeah, you are. Well, actually, had he at that point?
No, he hadn't. That was truthful.
Oh, he was. So, but
But later on, and then there was
but
more nipples.
the guy sent her over to be
don't
seduced
even
because
go
she's
there. Don't
dark.
even go there. It was so much garbage. So much
She's
convoluted
banging the
gorge.
sister and banging the blind chick.
Okay, yeah, don't. Lots of nipples, lots of Tesla, lots of nonsense, lots of skeleton and bones in the ground. Don't do it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, save yourself time.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.